Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Briana Shannon, and I would like to share a story about how I came to be on this stage today. I must admit, I struggled a bit writing this speech. Just days before graduation, I battled with myself, but I made a promise to myself, once I made it through this program, I would share my story and speak my truth. I also believe that in order for you to truly appreciate the woman that is standing in front of you guys today, it's imperative that you understand the woman that I was before my Year Up journey. It was Tuesday, March 7th, 2017, and I had just sent off my 5th resume and cover letter of the day. By now, it had been 1 month and 2 weeks since I lost my full-time job. At that moment, I thank God my father talked me into keeping the part-time job I had on the side, and my mother's voice echoed in my head, "Everything happens for a reason. Keep the faith and God will provide." Now, I love my mother, and I trust in the Lord, but sitting in your apartment on a bed covered in bills with your support system in a completely different state, that would test anyone's faith, especially when you're only living off $10 an hour plus tips. A few moments after submitting that application, my phone began to ring. Out of fear of discovering yet another bill, I decided to let the phone go to voicemail. After what seemed to be the longest 20 seconds of my life, waiting for my phone to stop ringing, I checked my messages. It was Isaiah, a recruiter from Year Up. I had forgotten that I filled out an interest form a while back, and initially I was skeptical about Year Up, a program that will pay you to go to school. Yeah, right. But I figured it couldn't hurt to hear this man out, so I called him back. I was greeted with a warm hello and the most genuine, "How are you?" I had received in weeks. After about 30 minutes of conversation and unsuccessfully trying to poke holes through this opportunity, I gave up and told him, "I'm convinced. Sign me up for next fall." The phone went uncomfortably quiet for a few moments, and then the silence was broken with Isaiah's words, "Unfortunately, Briana, you're 24 right now. If you don't sign up for this spring, you'll miss your chance. Year Up stopped serving students after 25. So I took the leap of faith, sold most of my possessions in my apartment, packed up my 2-door Honda with all that would fit, and said goodbye to my life in California. You see, my journey before being accepted into this program was the furthest thing from a straight path. Since graduating high school, I had spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out my purpose and my place in this world. At some points, I was juggling 2, even 3 jobs at a time. Finishing my courses and graduating from college had always been written in my plans, but with life's constant ups and downs, that goal became harder and harder to achieve. At the age of 24, with no college degree, a minimum wage job, and a small amount of savings, I was faced with the discomforting reality that my window of opportunity to change my circumstance was closing quickly. I was sure I didn't want to continue the rest of my days watching others around me advance in life while I merely survived, trapped in dead-end job after dead-end job. It was as if Year Up had seen me on the verge of drowning and was offering me a life jacket. It didn't take long for all the students to realize that though Year Up was throwing us all life jackets, it was only us that truly possessed the power to change our circumstances around. Year Up is an organization about shedding layers and ridding yourself of excuses and habits and freeing yourself of all inhibitions that hold you back. I quickly bought into Year Up's mission and further developed a love for community outreach. I knew that the resources of this organization needed to be spread to the masses. With the amazing support of my community, I was elected as Year Up Puget Sound Bellevue College's first student government president. Since being elected, I have made it my mission to provide support for my peers by using my voice to speak up for those who may not have recognized the strength of their own quite yet. Community has been huge for the students of this program. For most of us, Year Up was one of the only positive things going on in our lives. When the staff or my peers spoke of me, a common perception has been Briana has it all together. But that couldn't have been further from the truth. For months, Europe's courageous leader, walked the halls holding on to a secret. Until today, at this very moment, I never had the courage to be completely vulnerable with my peers. I've been portraying a fraudulent image of myself out of fear of judgment. I never wanted to receive anything that I truly did not deserve, and I refused for my accomplishments in this program to go in vain or be blemished because of pity from others. So while I was so busy searching for solutions for my peers and being a listening ear for everyone else, and working hard to invest in my future, I somehow neglected to share my own struggles. Most days felt like walking on eggshells, not ever knowing if that would be the day everything underneath me would crumble and my true identity would be revealed. While my classmates were going home to decompress or focus on homework, I was juggling different challenges when I went home. For months, I had been living with unstable housing. I had absolutely no privacy, and truthfully, at times I wasn't positive where I would be the next month. I can still vividly remember sitting in my car after class in the school parking lot, going over the day's homework, trying to study for just a little longer before going home. In those moments, the only thing that kept me from giving up was my faith in God's promise and knowing that though I was going through my own battles, my education was far too valuable to walk away from again. Europe was a place where I felt productive, at peace, and most importantly, Europe was a place where I felt in control. So I continued to push. I'd like to think all the students on this stage share that same mindset, that with the necessary resources, support, and drive, we are all limitless. This graduating class is filled with a generation of students that don't lack the potential, the talent, or the skills. Up until this point, for many of us, our only shortcoming has been the amount of opportunity we've been exposed to. When I look at us as a community, I see that we are living proof of so much untapped potential. All it took for us to blossom was a community that dared us to expand the horizons and a community that would not allow us to accept average. The many supporters like Year Up staff, mentors, and internship managers, they were our allies who advocated for us and gave us more exposure towards opportunities that historically have been reserved for those of a higher tax bracket. I joined this organization because Europe knows what we are all up against. They have acknowledged the divide in opportunity and have dedicated their careers to finding progressive ways to move forward and break those walls down. Today, I stand before all of you, once ashamed of my delayed success, a college dropout, terrified of my future, to now being the president of our student body, graduating from this program while maintaining a 4.0 GPA, and earning my certification in database analytics, and finally, finishing my internship at Microsoft as a business operations program manager, where I will begin the interview process for a full-time position next week. Thank you. Thank you. With the support of my Microsoft Dynamics team, I've been encouraged to walk the halls with my head held high. Being surrounded by excellence nearly every day for the past 6 months has been life-changing. Sharing space and ideas with some of the most brilliant minds I have ever encountered in my life has motivated me to once again push harder towards my goals. This experience has given me the confidence to no longer be content with just getting in the room, but being a voice at the table. On behalf of all the students here, I would like to take the time to thank everyone involved in the Year Up community and organization. We have been blessed with the opportunity to be surrounded by a network of people who have encouraged us and advocated for us. You all have made graduating today possible. So in return, as I continue to climb and succeed, because I will continue to climb and I will continue to succeed, my promise is to lift and support others like me as I go, to continue building and uplifting our community as you all have uplifted me. Thank you.